What's his
You're
name?
feeling shorter? I see, Grace. I can't believe how small she's gotten. Yeah, because she's shorter than I
Yeah, of
am.
course.
Ken Wild.
William, you're
Ken
on.
Wild. Okay.
William.
We ready? He's here.
Here. Yeah.
Call the roll, please.
Mayor Bain,
I'm here.
Vice Mayor Best,
Present.
Councilwoman Mitchell,
Here.
Councilwoman Zapata,
Present.
Councilman Petrolano.
Here.
Please stand for invocation. I didn't know it was my turn. Um, well, Lord, we're here today to honor some of our police officers and a young man I know since he's pretty young, pretty small little kid, Christopher Bond. I hope for the safety of all these police officers and all the people in this room. Amen. Right hand over your heart, hats off. Thank you back there. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Okay, first on the agenda is a presentation for Police Officer of the Month. Chief, you have the floor.
Guess you are going first. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to call up, excuse me, Sergeant Matt Castillo to read the nominating letter for the Officer of the Month, Officer Brian Nickerson.
All right, Matt,
Evening, Council. We talk this way or?
whatever you want to do.
Okay.
Talk to the crowd. We can hear
All
you.
right.
We're nothing up here, so whatever you want to do.
All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here today to present the Officer of the Month Award to Officer Brian Nickerson for the month of August 2019. Okay, a little bit about Brian. He was hired in May of 2013. He started as a public service aide and eventually went to the police academy and is now working day shifts on road patrol. I had nominated him for 3 particular reasons. The first reason occurred on August 21st. It was in reference to a bomb threat that we received over at the Parkway Inn Hotel. It was originally called in by City of Miami Police Department, and there was not much information available. We just had a phone number, and basically the guy just said that there was going to be a bomb placed at the Parkway Inn Hotel. So officers arrived on scene immediately, and they set a perimeter around the hotel and started the evacuation process. Right at that point, we didn't have much to go on, so Officer Nickerson went to the front desk clerk. The front desk clerk was able to provide some information to Officer Nickerson that they had an incident earlier in the day by an individual that had a verbal argument with staff, and he was screaming obscenities at him, so she didn't know if it was related or not. So Officer Nickerson got the room number and the identification of the person staying in the room. So we went to the room, and no one was there. So at this point, we had no leads. Actually, we got some information from the phone number that was used to make the threat was called in. We got the registered information from that phone number, and it was actually the person staying in room 319. So we did a cell phone trace of the cell phone, and Officer Nickerson located the individual on the Northwest 36th Street corridor. He immediately took him into custody without incident. He interviewed the subject, and it was deemed that the threat was not credible. And we will forward all this information to Homeland Security for further update. The second reason I nominated for Officer of the Month occurred at the Wells Fargo Bank. Basically, August 19th, we had a resident go to the bank and withdraw $2,000 cash from his account. He went a block down to pick up breakfast for his family at the Airport Cafe and Liquor, and after leaving the restaurant, he went back to his car and the money was gone. We did the initial report, and Detective Tamargo followed up on the case. He was able to obtain video surveillance of the incident, and in the video surveillance, you could see a particular black Infiniti QX50 pull up alongside our victim's vehicle. A subject exits the vehicle and enters our victim's vehicle and removes the money and takes off. The subject in this case was wearing a particular Michael Jordan hoodie fleece that was covering his face. So Detective Margo forwarded this information to all the patrol units on our department. On August 28th, Officer Nickerson was patrolling that area, and he observed a vehicle matching the description from the video. And which is good by him, he didn't automatically make contact with the individual. He parked his vehicle pretty far away and maintained visual of the vehicle. There was a driver, there was a driver, and he was laying back in the vehicle, hiding himself, concealing himself. So Officer Nickerson watched the vehicle for approximately 25 minutes, and the individual did not move, and eventually exited the parking lot. As he exits the parking lot, he comes across Officer Nickerson's patrol vehicle and conceals his face with a newspaper or a flyer. And based on all that information and based on several vehicle equipment violations, he conducted a traffic stop on the vehicle. Long story short, it was the vehicle in question. We actually found the Jordan fleece that was used to commit the burglary inside the back of the vehicle. Detective Tamargo responded to the scene and immediately arrested the individual and brought him to the station. Detective Tamargo was able to get a full confession, and in a strange twist of events, the subject was remorseful and called a family member over to bring back the $2,000 cash that he stole, and that was rightfully turned back to the resident in Miami Springs. So that was a really good arrest. And the final one occurred over at the Embassy Suites Hotel. Officer Nickerson was actually eating breakfast at the hotel, so I guess he's a magnet for all this stuff. It just comes right to him. He's eating breakfast and he sees 3 individuals. He recognizes one of them as a subject that committed a theft earlier in the week. So he immediately contacts the front desk and tells the front desk of the situation. The front desk said that those people have no business being here and they're not supposed to be here. So he makes contact with the individuals, and his investigation led to the discovery of approximately 39 credit cards that were re-encoded with 39 different individuals' banking information. And he also found methamphetamine on one of the subjects. And side note of that story was there was a female that she provided a driver's license to Officer Nickerson, and it was similar, the photo, but there were some discrepancies. So Officer Nickerson took it upon himself to question the individual a little bit more, and she was able to provide the social security number that was attached to the driver's license. She was able to provide the registered vehicle for the driver's license, and she was able to provide the previous addresses on the driver's license. But Officer Nickerson still was not satisfied, and he got some assistance from Detective Hall, and Detective Hall was actually able to contact the actual owner of the driver's license, and she had told him that her vehicle was recently broken into the week prior, and her identity was been all over the place. It's been a mess for her, a nightmare, and she was so thankful for us to find the individual that stole her license. So we were able to capture the identity of the individual by doing our fingerprint scanning, and it was found out that the individual was just arrested recently for drugging and robbing a guy at gunpoint at South Beach, and recently stole $200,000 worth of jewelry. So it was another great arrest by Officer Nickerson. So. With that being said, when I told him I was going to nominate him for Officer of the Month, he actually said, "For what? I'm just doing my job." So I told him that sometimes doing your job, you need some recognition too. So Officer of the Month for August 2019.
Thank you, Sarge. Sorry I made you talk so much. Captain, Chief, I appreciate it. I also thank my family. Also, I got the pleasure to ride with Chris Bond the whole week, and I really appreciate riding with him. His dad sent me to the academy 5 years ago, so I really appreciate that, and you're the reason why I'm here, so thank you.
today I get to do two things that I really enjoy about my position. One is promoting, and the other one is swearing in new officers. So, excuse me. This next presentation is actually a promotion to Ms. Graciela Vasquez. She began as a dispatcher in April of 2001. In December of 2003, she transferred to Public Works and worked there until November 2005 when she returned to the police department as an administrative specialist run. She was promoted to police administrative assistant 2 and subsequently transferred to the community policing officer in December of 2008. And today I have the pleasure of promoting her to police administrative specialist 3, if I can talk today. So Grace.
I thank everybody I work with. Without them, I'm no one. It's a great support system all around.
She's very humble, but the work that she does behind the scenes, I couldn't even begin to start telling you everything she does, not just for CPO, but for the department in general. So, Grace, thank you for all your efforts. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Grace.
Last but not least, I remember when my son Eric was sworn in as a police officer by the late Chief John Timoney. Chief Timoney made it very special. We were coming in for a storm. I was working the afternoon shift. Normally you have this big promotion ceremony, but his class was assigned throughout the department, and basically the chief would go around, raise your right hand, you're sworn in, almost like a battlefield commission. And I remember my son calling me about 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon and said, "Dad, they haven't promoted me yet, or they haven't sworn me in yet. They haven't sworn me in yet." Relax, Chief's busy. So I come in about 6 o'clock, and I was with the SWAT team. We're getting all our gear ready. Chief walks in. "Hey, Chief, how are you?" I thought he was just checking in on us. Then all of a sudden, my son Eric comes in. Now, I'd been with the SWAT team for 25 years, so it was a very special place for me. So the chief swore Eric in front of the whole team, and that's something we will always remember. So I wanted to do something special for Chris and for his dad, Chief Bond. So, Chief, would you please join me up here? Chief, would you swear in your son, please?
Chris, would you repeat after me, please?
Raise your right hand. Raise your right hand.
I, Christopher Vaughn, do solemnly swear
That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Florida
and the Constitution of the State of Florida
against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
That I will bear truth, faith, and allegiance
that I will bear truth, faith, and allegiance
to the same,
to the same,
to uphold and enforce the laws of the United States,
to uphold and enforce the laws of the United States,
the State of Florida,
the State of Florida,
the County of Miami-Dade,
the County of Miami-Dade,
and the City of Miami Springs.
and the City of Miami Springs,
That I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservations
without any mental reservations
or purposes of evasion,
or purposes of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties of police officer
the duties of police officer
of the City of Miami Springs,
of the City of Miami Springs,
acting to the best of my ability,
acting to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
All right.
Now, if anybody's worried about the legalities, my signature is on the bottom, okay?
I'd like to say a couple thank yous. The first one's to Chief Guzman. A little over 2 years, you hired me as a PSA, which opened the door into this career. I never thought I'd lead this. Coincidentally, my dad has worked as a police officer for over 40 years here, and it never struck me to become a police officer. This was kind of just, it was the next job. I was working at the golf course, and
And by the way, you earned every bit of it. I want everybody to know that. Number one, he graduated number one in his class.
And as I worked more as PSA, I was on the road driving the Prius, and which I learned to love. I love police work. You know, I was talking to the police officers, and I learned to love it. Thank you, Chief. Next, I'd like to thank my family, my mom, brother, sister, grandma, and dad are here. You guys are super supportive, and you make this happen. I'm glad I get to follow in your footsteps, Dad. I appreciate everything. And lastly, I'd like to thank all the way from the city of Miami, Drill Instructor Officer Kodo. You're the best DI. Don't tell DI Kirkson. Appreciate everything you do. You're a great mentor and leader. And I'll never forget that. Thank you, everyone.
By the way, in the world of coincidences, I've known Officer Cotto since he was about that big. His dad was my mechanic for many years, and great family. So thank you for being here. Thanks to all the officers and the family that are here to support the promotion of the Officer of the Month and swearing in of Officer of the Month. Thank you very much, Council.
Very nice. Okay, we're gonna move a little bit different. We're gonna do the Pioneers Awards first. Mr. Paul Mayhew, are you here? Can you come up?
You want another one? A cold one?
No, this is for you?
No.
Oh, I'm good then.
That's yours.
Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
Oh, that's the way. Ah, mira, damn. I wish he has for you.
Pioneer Resident Award. Paul Mayhew, Pioneer Resident of Miami Springs. In recognition of your 53-year residency in Miami Springs and for your many valuable contributions to our community, for having the vision to recognize the beauty and potential of the city of Miami Springs. I'm presenting this to you this day, the 23rd of September, 2019. He's been here 53 years as a resident of Miami Springs, and come on, everybody. So what do you think about this?
I think the awards should go the other way. I think that I recognize the city of Miami Springs is a very good place to live. I raised my 4 kids here. They graduated from Miami Springs High School. And I have enjoyed every minute in Miami Springs. Thank you very much.
Very good. Make sure he gets the picture of these, okay? Oh, you remember back when I was in high school when you used to watch me play, right? All that good stuff.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we have another one.
Okay.
Ken Wild. This is the Pioneer Resident Award to Ken Wilder, Pioneer Resident of Miami Springs, in recognition of 66 years of residency in Miami Springs and for your many valuable contributions to our community and for having the vision to recognize the beauty and potential of Miami Springs. I present this to you this day, the 23rd day of September 2019. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And how about with his family also?
So what's this? What do you think about this? And I tell you what, for living here 66 years, you look absolutely handsome as I can imagine. Looking.
It's been 66 years here, so I've been thrilled with Miami Springs. There's no other place like it, and I'm thrilled to be here, and hope to live here many, many more years.
I hope so too. So I hope I might be a pioneer someday.
We tried to get them up here, and they.
You want me to get him up here?
You
Come on.
can do it. You're a better man than I.
You take a picture with him and have it for the family. Come on. This isn't a moment you should all be here. Go ahead. Take a picture to the family. Take a picture. And by the way, today is his birthday.
Is it really? Oh,
I don't know if by copyrights if we could sing happy birthday. Can we? In today's world, so I think somebody owns that. Good looking people. Good looking people. All right. Okay. You got it.
Nobody could do that but you.
Yeah, it's good to be the mayor sometimes. Sometimes. Do I have to do, what do I have next?
Yard of the month. Yard of the
Is the yard of the month here? Come on.
Hey, Mayor.
Huh?
Don't. So
Well, this is cold too.
I have mine, but they're in the seat.
And you don't want to take a picture of it, and then you put something. It's terrible. Linda and Frederick Powell's,
That's it.
1111 Shadow Way, for their home being designated as the Yard of the Month for October 2019. Presented this 23rd day of September 2019. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
There you go.
Thank you.
All right. Well, tell me about your lawn. Now, tell me, you do it yourself, or do you hire somebody? You do it
We do it
yourself?
ourselves, and we have help.
You have help?
And by the way, we moved from California, so we've only been here 6 years. And it's a beautiful place.
And you make it beautiful, too, for us. Okay, congratulations.
Yeah, surprisingly, because you sent the thing.
So I'm gonna ask him.
Do I have anybody else that has to come up?
Open forum.
That's it?
You have open forum.
Okay, it's open forum.
Gabe is next.
Sky?
He's next.
Listen,
So my,
listen,
No,
you have Jobo and us.
presentations. Wait, you guys are telling me. Wait, I'll handle it. What's wrong with you, open
Gotta
forum?
go to 4D, Mayor.
4D's, it's gonna,
I don't think he's here.
No, he's not coming today.
Okay.
He's not coming today.
so Landis
We'll go to
Fernandez.
4E.
We're going to go with the presentation from our sister city councilman, Gabe Fernandez. He's going to come up and give us a presentation about something about bikes riding on one wheel and stuff.
Council President, I believe.
It didn't say that. It doesn't say that here. City clerk, he's councilman president. You're going to tell me that.
Good evening.
You have
Mayor.
the floor, sir.
Good
Welcome
evening.
to our city.
Thank you, thank you. Good evening, Mayor and Council. I think we have a presentation somewhere.
Okay, so I did yard of the month.
Julie's gonna go ahead and explain everything to you guys. And if you have any questions, we're here, open for questions or concerns.
So a couple of years ago, well, actually for the past couple of years, I've been doing a family scavenger hunt every single year during the holidays. And a couple of years ago, Gabe went ahead and joined us and said, you know what, this is an amazing, amazing thing you're putting together for your family, and it would be amazing if we actually did it for the city. And I said, sure, let's go ahead and we can do it for the city. Why not? And so basically what we do is called the Family Bike Scavenger Hunt, named the River Ride, because we're the River Cities, right? We're a part of that. Basically, here it is. Basically, what we do is that we have created a map throughout the city of Miami Springs with different stations or different locations, and we have actually created clues that help find all of these different areas. It's either by monuments or by famous landmarks here in Miami Springs, or even just by street names. And so we've created different clues in order to make that happen. We have about 19 different questions on every scavenger hunt. 16 of those are located in the beautiful city of Miami Springs, and 3 of those are in the amazing village of Virginia Gardens. And basically, here's a few questions that might come up in regards to age, what we recommend. Well, this is great for all families of all sizes. And, you know, it's just really something fun for neighbors and families to do, come together, and really just enjoy a good time together. So what is it that we need? Well, first we would need the permission from the city of Miami Springs in order to do this throughout the city of Miami Springs. And then also the village of Virginia Gardens has already pledged to give the event 3 off-duty police officers to run the scavenger hunt. The way that we would do it is that we would create teams, and every police officer would have up to 20 members on that specific team. So let's say, for example, if it's a family of 4, then there might be 5 families per police officer. So what we would like is to ask the city of Miami Springs if they can match that as well by giving us 3 additional police officers in order to make this happen. That would allow for a nice number of people to be able to participate. We're looking at having the event November 16th. It would be in the morning. We have already looked at the calendar. There's nothing conflicting with that. You have Sebastian Strong the weekend before, and you have your turkey trot the weekend after. So that weekend, nothing is currently happening within either city.
Excuse me.
Yes.
But we do. We have the Curtis Mansion ribbon cutting on the 16th at 10 in the morning.
Okay, well then that is definitely something that we would need to look into. Yep. Okay. Well, again, it's a tentative date, and we can definitely move it. We could do it even on a Sunday morning, or we can
Just a little later, maybe, or maybe we can.
Yeah,
you can get with Curtis Mansion because it's a dedication to Tom Nash's.
To Tom Nash. Yep, absolutely.
So maybe if they can move it up a little and you move forward, so make it work for everyone.
So that it would work. Absolutely. Yeah, we can definitely. Again, it's tentative, and we can definitely move the time and.
Okay.
Saturday,
All right,
I think Saturday works best, not Sunday. Saturday. Don't change the day, maybe the time. It's just an hour.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. That's definitely something. Yeah, that's usually something to modify. And that's basically what it would be. We believe that the actual scavenger hunt itself, depending on the teams, can last anywhere from an hour and a half up to 3 hours, but that's really extending. But yeah, it's a fun activity. It's something that families, friends, neighbors, can come together, and it's something for the community.
If I may, when we did this, I'm gonna be totally honest with you. There are so many monuments in Miami Springs and Virginia Gardens that I did not even know existed. And thanks to this scavenger hunt, we went to every single one and read the plaque. And the way it was, to be honest, there's no way of cheating, because the way she does it is there was 3 little labels. But the clues are the same, but they're all mixed in all together. So it doesn't matter. It's not like you could take someone else's ticket and hide it and they can't figure out the rest. No, it was so well planned that you're able to go through the entire city and see so many new areas and read so many plaques that you guys have plaques there for a reason so people can enjoy the history that's on it. But no one really actually goes to them. This is a great way to get them out there.
Okay.
So again, Virginia Gardens has pledged 3 officers. If we can get 3 or 4 officers from Miami Springs to help out, rather than closing off all the streets, it'll be easier to just have teams rolling around with their designated officer, we think.
Okay.
And it would also be something nice for the police officers, because they would actually be able to participate. Like they can be on their bikes, they can have a good time. This is something where they can also be
team leaders.
Yeah, team leadership, exactly.
Chief, I'd like to see if we can also extend the invitation to Medley as far as police officers.
Okay. What we'll do is, when's our next council meeting?
October 14th.
October
And
14th.
October, and they want to do this in November 16th? Yeah. Okay. Next meeting, we'll go over all the logistics, get with the manager and everything, and the times, and then maybe we could come up with some kind of a program approval for the 16th of November.
Sounds good.
Okay?
Thank you very much, Mayor.
Thank
Thank you, Council.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, now we have the representatives from Florida Power and Light, Juan and Javier.
Yes, Mayor and Council. On September 12, 2019, staff met with representatives of Florida Power and Light to discuss a pilot program they want to initiate next year, which involves 47 laterals citywide. The program entails burying electrical lines underground in alleys within our city that have been identified as potential candidates for conversion to underground service based on prior problems those areas have encountered during storms. Attached to your memo is a map which identifies the 47 laterals, as well as a letter FPL will be sending to residents in these areas. Tonight, we have Mr. Juan Curry, Manager, Customer Response and Resolution for FPL, and a Miami Springs resident and a board member, as well as Javier Prado, Lead Project Manager for FPL, who's going to do the presentation to this council on this project and answer any questions you may have. We also have from FPL, Enrique Formoso, Arturo Perez, and Nicole Martinez. Javier?
All right, good evening, everyone. I'd like to kick off my presentation with a video. Oh, yeah.
At Florida Power and Light Company, we're committed to providing customers with safe and reliable power in good weather and bad. And we're always looking to improve our service to the more than 10 million people we serve. In 2017, our area was struck by Hurricane Irma. We saw that the #1 cause of power outages was trees and other vegetation that brought down neighborhood power lines and damaged equipment. We also saw that underground power lines performed more than 80% better than overhead power lines. That's why we've launched the Storm Secure Underground Program. The Storm Secure Underground Program is a 3-year pilot project that will help us determine how cost-effectively we can place power lines underground in certain neighborhoods and how well they perform, especially in severe weather.
We're testing different methods of construction, of design, of engineering, and different tools that we're trying to bring in to see what is easier and most cost-effective to do this project.
A successful pilot will help improve our ability to restore power faster after bad weather and lead to even more innovative ways to deliver power to our customers.
I was amazed at how far they could push that equipment underground and the distances they could cover.
Everything was taken care of, everything cleaned up afterwards, which is one of my issues when somebody does work. I want it to look like I don't know that it happened after it's done. Everything was cleaned up and taken care of, so that was great. You know, dirt was smoothed back over, sod put down.
Here's how the pilot works. We target pre-selected neighborhood power lines that meet our criteria throughout the areas we serve. We work with residents in the pre-selected neighborhoods to have their power lines placed underground. We use low-impact underground directional drilling equipment to ensure minimal construction impact to the neighborhoods. When construction is complete, our team restores customer property and neighborhoods to their pre-construction condition. We are committed to working safely and minimizing any inconveniences to our customers.
So why wouldn't you? I mean, it's a betterment to your home, your property, even your quality of life at certain points.
If it comes to you, it's the best thing that's, you know, if it's underground, it's going to save you in the long run. Like I say, we're getting storms that are bigger and harder, and even just everyday thunderstorms, or some of the winds are so strong here that, you know, why wouldn't you?
The Storm Secure Underground project is just one of the many ways FPL is working to improve reliability and grid resiliency for our customers. For additional information, please visit fpl.com/SSUP.
You can hold it if it's so easier for you. You can hold it.
All right, well, thank you everyone for having us here today. My name is Javier Prado, as Mr. Alonso said. I'd like to discuss our program. It's a brand new program that we kicked off last year. It is a pilot program at the time, and it's intended to be a 3-year pilot program. The goal of our program is to convert existing overhead power lines to underground. In the FPL distribution system, we have 2 types of power lines. We have our main power lines, which we call feeders, and our neighborhood power lines, which we call laterals. Our program here, the SSUP, or Storm Secure Underground Program, is exclusive to these laterals or neighborhood power lines. Currently, we operate about 60% of our power lines overhead, and the rest are all underground. These are some images of some neighborhood power lines to your left, and then a main power line on your right. For the most part, the main power lines are along main roadways and accessible locations, but our neighborhood power lines, are throughout the neighborhoods and often behind the homes, which are inaccessible for FPL to work on. Our traditional hardening method started after 2006, the storm season, and our methods for hardening those power lines are just installing stronger poles that can withstand hurricane force winds. What we learned from the storms of Hurricane Matthew and Hurricane Irma is that our traditional hardening methods will not work because most of the debris was blown over and landed on our power lines and just knocked down everything with it. Plus, as I mentioned, most of these power lines are in the rear of, and we cannot access those pole lines, and we cannot access them with all of our machinery and essentially upgrade the poles for stronger ones. So with our program, we want to make our facilities accessible and put them underground. With regards to reliability, underground power lines perform at least 50% better day-to-day operations, even on a blue sky day. It's not just during storms. Just on any regular day, they perform better overall. So we started this last year. In Dade, we have projects throughout the entire county. We have projects in design, we have projects in outreach, projects in construction, and projects that have already completed construction. We're going to start, we had a soft start already, the Miami Springs, but we are targeting 47 power lines right now in the Miami Springs area. Our selection criteria is all driven by reliability. We want these power lines to be essentially the worst of the worst when it comes to reliability. They would have had to have an outage during at least Hurricane Matthew and or Irma, at least 9 outages within the past 10 years, and 4 out of those 9 outages would have been caused by vegetation. This is a map of Miami Springs. The area shaded in pink is Miami Springs, and each of those blue markers with the diamond inside is where the power line starts. And this is the location of the 47 power lines that we're going to start with. These 47 power lines equate to 6.5 miles of existing overhead power line and 1,042 customers. So the way we do this is it all starts with design, and then once we have a preliminary design, we start the outreach process, which is heavily involved. Our partner for this is Mostec. They're going to be doing all the design, outreach, and construction for this project. But the outreach portion starts with us mailing out a letter to all the customers, very high-level letter informing them that they have been selected. That mailing gets followed up with a folder, which I believe each one of you have, which has a lot more information on how we do this. And after that, the outreach specialist in charge of that project will be reaching out to every single customer on that project to inform them of what we're doing and address any questions they may have. In addition to that, we will be requesting easements from customers to install our transformers. We need to install these transformers in order to have success and be able to move forward with converting our power lines to underground. Transformers exist nowadays, they're just on the poles. But to put power lines on the ground, we have to put the pad-mounted transformers. And shortly you'll see some images of that. But the image on the left is an average looking house of what it looks like with overhead power lines. You see the power lines to the right of the image. You see the service wire going into the meter. and you see all the attached utilities like Comcast and AT&T or communication lines. The image on the right is afterwards, where we have converted the transformer. Instead of it being the cylindrical object attached to the pole, now it's the green box on the left of the image. There's no more service drop to the meter. We have converted that to underground as well, and we have removed everything from the poles that belongs to FPL. The poles still have communications on them. We cannot force them to come off of it, but they will remain. So FPL will just remove everything that belongs to FPL and cut the pole. So about the top third of the pole will get removed. And in our program, we are converting everything, including the service. This has never been done before. Historically, if a customer wants to convert their overhead service to underground, they have to get their own electrician, get their own permitting, and even pay FPL to do this. In our program, we're taking care of everything. And we're going to do that via what we call a junction box. We're going to have underground ducting cable coming from the transformer. We're going to find a good location to come up near the wall of the customer, go up the wall with a duct, install the junction box. We're going to leverage the cable inside the weatherhead and reroute it into the junction box and make our connections there. And we're taking ownership of that. This is an image of our directional drilling machine. We are going to use directional boring, directional drilling as much as possible. It is a lot less invasive than trenching. So essentially you're going to have a pit, an entry pit and an exit pit. They're going to insert the machine. It's going to drill underneath the earth. At the other end, they're going to connect the ducts and pull the drill back, and it's going to install the ducts. So this is just an image of what it would look like. The machine is set up on one end, and it drills underneath. It could go below roots. It could go below other utilities. It could go below septic tanks, water, drainage fields. You name it, we could go below it. Another image, as you saw in the video, of the actual directional boring rig. A more up-close image of what the junction box looks like. These are images of what we'll be installing. The transformers, again, we want to put these in easements. Everything else we will be putting in right away. And the handholds is another common piece of equipment that we need to install, but the handholds are installed at grade level. These are more images of our directional drilling equipment and the cable reels for our underground duct. And here are some images of completed projects. There's a transformer there on the right. Any questions?
So you need a transformer for every home?
No, we average about one transformer every 4 to 5 homes. It depends on the electrical load in the area, but to answer your question, no. One every 4 to 5 homes is the average.
How about the currently?
Currently?
Yeah.
About the same.
It's about the same?
Yeah. Yep.
And then one thing that we are trying to leverage in the city, one thing that we are trying to leverage in the city of Miami Springs, that most of the power lines are on the alley in the rear. And I know that you guys have some offset for the trash pickup. We're going to try to leverage that too with the customers. I know, can we extend that offset a little bit more, 10 feet more if possible, so we can install our transformers there, whichever is needed. I'm very excited about the city of Miami Springs because you guys have always worked out with us when it comes to vegetation trimming. Whenever we need to come in here, you guys have always been very helpful. You're also helpful with that permitting. We need to come in here. It's not another city where it takes 6 months to get the easier to do that. So we're trying this out. You guys will be the first city that we actually bring 47 laterals into at one time. Because all the other ones put in 2 or 3, 4 or 5. This is the first city that we're trying to put 47 all for next year to be built. So what I ask from all of you, councilmen and mayors, tell our customers, tell your constituents, this is the great thing that I feel. That's what we need from you guys. You guys just, even though we're giving out for free, people think we're scamming them. They call the cops on us all the time. I'm telling you, it happened a lot to us. Time press. We don't know how many times they call the cops on us. But again, it's just we need to get the word out there. This is a 3-year pilot, so the more we get the word out there, the more people see us. All of our folks will have the cap, they all are branded with FPNL. If we need to take pictures of those folks, so you guys have them in your records, we can. We could, so like that, who's on there. We'll be more than happy, whatever needs to take place. We're very excited about the city of Miami Springs getting this done.
I want to say I'm very excited about the city of Miami Springs having this opportunity, and thank you, FPNL, for bringing this pilot program to us, because I know a lot of cities are paying a lot of money to do this, to have the lines underground. Also, the 47 laterals is a very large amount, as we can see from the map, so that's really exciting for our residents. We all know, after a hurricane, the trees cause so many power lines to go down, and because they're in the backs of people's homes and all this, can be days and weeks sometimes before we can get them up for the neighborhood. So this is really great. I wanted to ask you, with the transformers, if someone, when you said a transformer is like for about 5 homes, right? Do you have a lot of wiggle room there as to which of the 5 homes, or does it have to be the home in the center of the 5 homes? How does that work?
And we work with all the customers, see which one is going to deal with them.
And is a transformer sometimes put in between 2 yards, or does it have to be on one person's yard?
We prefer not to put it in between 2 houses. We always prefer to put it in one particular property. Fence lines, for example. Now you got 2 fences you got to take down and put up. So there's a lot to do with running the property.
I got a question about the fact that you're going to run at your cost, from the main to the house. Once you do that, if anything goes wrong with that down the road a year, is the household responsible for any?
We still own it up to the meter.
So you're going to take care of it in somebody's yard, no matter.
Property. The meter can itself belongs to the customer. The weatherhead belongs to the customer.
Okay.
Downstream of the meter is also customer cable, but the meter itself and everything upstream of the meter can is FPL property.
So that pipe that you saw with that cable inside going to the junction box.
Yeah.
And going down, that will all be ours.
Okay.
If it ever fails in the future,
that's all yours. I got you. Okay.
Up to the top of the meter can, that is ours.
Okay. I got you.
Through the chair, if I might, Bill.
Sure.
Thanks for being here, you guys. I know we went through this exercise about 9 or 10 years ago. Katrina, Wilma, that whole thing. And the city was pretty well whacked. It was devastated, actually. And we conducted a study shortly after that to figure what it would have cost us had we had everything underground. It was staggering. It was to the point that we just walked away from it, So it's certainly a benefit for us, for you guys to be here advertising this. I have a couple of short questions here. You mentioned that the underground power lines perform better than the overhead. Why is that?
In regards to reliability?
Yeah.
Because vegetation.
Talking wind and stuff like that? Okay.
Wind, right. Wind is one, but vegetation is another big issue for us and even for residents. You don't have to worry about trimming your trees anymore. It's going to relieve your vegetation efforts to trim down.
You're talking about they wouldn't be as prone to something happening being under there. Okay. But it delivers the same amount of juice, though, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. Let me add one. Also protection from rain, from squirrels, your lizards that are up there today. So all that is actually more protected. Because now they cannot get into our power lines anymore because everything is underground now.
Right. Yeah, according to your map that you showed, there were 47 targeted laterals, correct?
Correct.
Is there any plan after the 3-year pilot program that the rest of the city will be?
Approximately 90 total neighborhood power lines within Miami Springs.
So you're addressing half of them then right up front?
Yes, and the rest will be addressed dependent upon the success of the initial 47. We will gladly put them all underground if we have success in Miami Springs.
Have you? This is just starting. You haven't done it in any other cities, right?
No, we do. We have projects in construction in Pinecrest and Miami Gardens, Dade County, and throughout the state too.
I want to give. Oh, you go ahead.
No, I just wanted to ask again about you said you have no control over other utilities that are hanging on the. Is that not I mean, what's been your experience in other cities where people want everything underground? I mean.
I have to tell you, we have a benefit that our bills are not going to go higher because of this. If AT&T or the Comcast of the world, or whoever else,
right.
They will have to increase their bills in order to put the stuff underground. We're not going to do that.
Well, that'd make them go away right quick, I suppose, huh?
Yeah, and they got to pay you to use your stuff.
They will have to do it themselves.
Well, but they have to rent your space, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
In a way,
Yeah.
okay.
Space.
Yeah. I one question. I'm one clear. you said that underground 50% better, you have a 50% better success with underground lines. Is that also a better feed because it's underground without the wind and is that why it's better? You're confusing me because the way I was presented, you're getting 50%, maybe more. It's being quality.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's just what you're getting is you're not getting momentary should go down because now you have trees that are hitting the power line constantly. When you see momentary, it's because the system is working itself, trying to heal itself from a tree hitting it. So all that will go away.
The word is it more efficient? That's the word I'm looking for. So it is more efficient than on. Okay. All right.
Mayor, I have
a question.
Sure.
Now, thank you. So those homes that already have their wires underground from the pole to the house, are you going to redo those homes? Or?
No. The easiest way to connect those customers is to install a handhold at the base of their service point, which is usually the base of the pole. That's an easy connection.
So you will be doing that connection?
Yes, we will.
Okay. I have to tell you, my home, since I bought it, 20-something years ago, it's always had it underground. The owner before me had installed it underground, and I've never had any issues, flooding or anything like that. It's worked. I think it's worked wonderful.
We're doing this because of the experiences that we have in the past.
And I wanted to just mention, it's my understanding that in the past there would be a cost to the homeowner because of how you connect the wire. I want Corey to explain that to me. And now you figured out a way that you can bypass that so the homeowner has no cost, which is really just wonderful. This is really great news. Yes. But how do you plan to notify the homeowners that are going to be involved with this?
We have a list of all of our customers. So once we select the power line, we know all the customers that are on that power line. We mail them out a letter first, a very generic letter, then a folder, and then we start reaching out to them. Phone, text, email, door-to-door is what we do most of it. So any way possible to get in touch with a customer, we will do it.
And you would need to get authorizations from, say, the 5 homes that are affected by the transformer before you start there, or will you start just so we know
one
what's...
easement per transformer, right? But there are X amount of transformers on each project. We need to secure a location for all those transformers in order to be able to move forward into construction.
Okay. So you'd find out where each transformer is going to be, and then you start. Okay.
You said it was a 3-year process.
When will you be done?
Yes.
3 years.
3 years.
How long will it take you to do this, you think?
Right now it's taking about 3 to 4 months to get a project done. So that's why we're starting early, trying to get as much as we can done this year.
Right.
Release as much as we can at the beginning of the year, then continue to work. And then as we go along, continue to release neighborhood lines throughout the whole next
Okay. What do we have to do tonight to allow you to get started?
You don't have to do anything. Just talk to the constituents.
Okay.
Could you provide us, our city manager, with something that we can post on our webpage and also send out, because now actually this is really timely. Our next, we have a publication at the end of the month. The newspaper has a section that's all Miami Springs that is mailed to all of our residents. So if you could get that to him, I don't know, Tom, within, right? And they can get it in next week's issue.
We have our marketing communication and stuff that we have.
Okay. That would be a great way to start it.
And feel free to publish our website too. FPL.com/SSUP.
As the councilwoman mentioned, it would be critical that you get the last issue of the month that goes out to every household.
I really can't see. I don't know what you guys go through, but I really can't see people arguing about putting the power lines underground.
The transformers.
Mayor, if I may, one quick question. Out of the 47 laterals, do you know how many you can do in alleys and how many you have to do? Because I know, for example, on Payne Drive, you can't do the alley because they have a canal. So those transformers are going in the front.
Correct.
Do you know out of the 47 how many more are like that, or will you be able to do most of them in the alleys?
You have to look at it. I don't know by memory which ones are in the alleys, which ones are not.
We will leverage the alleys.
Everywhere we can.
Everywhere we can. That's better for us because now we go in the right of way, which is the alley.
Right.
For the city,
You're not just right.
For the most part, customers are easier to get in easement in the rail, where especially that you already have an offset for the trash.
Right.
So we might be able to build on that. So I mean, to me, that's almost a win-win. I mean, when you mention about people people not wanting it, you might be surprised.
Oh, okay. Well,
You will get phone calls. I almost can.
I'll have you standing right next to me. All right, we appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks,
and
guys.
I
Thanks
think
very
the most,
much. Appreciate
most
it.
important thing is get the stuff to the manager so we can start placing it on the websites and through the clouds.
Okay.
We'll get to Ms. Hall.
Okay. Thank you.
You have a great
Thank you
night.
very much.
And it'll work on it.
Okay, this is open forum now. Sky, you want to talk?
Ski.
Huh? Ski? Sky? Ski? Ski? Sky?
Thank you. C.R. Wojciechowski, 830 Plover Avenue, Miami Springs, Florida. I'm here to support these gentlemen.
Check it out.
Enrique, he was an engineer when we've been forever friends. And what I want to say to you is, I'm surprised we don't have more people here. Maybe it wasn't in the Gazette that this was happening or whatever. But what I want to say to you is these people, I listened to the presentation. I did this work for over 40 years. So I know what they're saying and what they're talking about. And Enrique, come up here. I may need your help. In our alleyways, on the streets, there's what's called an easement. And usually the easement is 10 foot wide, 5 foot on either side of a pole. So all these underground transformers can be put in the easement. It may infringe on somebody's backyard a little bit, but it's the easement. So
Yeah, man, that's one of the things that we are going to leverage. If we do have easements out there, we will still ask the customer to make sure they know that we're going to put a transformer out.
Sure.
But I mean, we do have the right to put our transformers in. We do have an easement.
I understand.
And I have absolutely no problem. If they want to put a transformer in my backyard, go ahead, do it. I have no problem with it. Another thing.
How many
I would
houses
like-
do you own? We
Pardon?
might have to use all the houses you own. How many houses do you own?
One of the other things I would like to address is all of us pay a fee every year. It's the
Storm Secure.
Storm Secure, but we pay a utility. Come on, give me the word.
The,
Franchise fee.
Franchise.
We all pay a franchise fee. That franchise fee we pay, all of the customers pay to have these utilities. The big question was about other utilities. You all, I would employ all of you to go up and down the street, somebody from the Gazette, go down the street and see where FPL has put up all new poles, transferred all their things, and you got Bell Telephone, wires hanging down the poles and all this kind of stuff. You all have the authority to ask our attorney to contact these people and say, get your crap off the pole so FP&L can remove the pole. You have that ability. We don't have to have all these wires hanging everywhere. So what I'm saying is everything I've heard tonight, and like I said, I've known Enrique for many years. And go with it. You need to go with it. You need to go with it. And I am offering, as my services, as a citizen, I will be a representative between FP&L and the city. People have questions. I have absolutely no problem with helping. I would love to see this go forward. I want to see this go forward.
You got it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Bonasi? Good night, everybody. Thank you for coming.
Thanks,
Good
guys.
night. Take care.
How ironic that I'm here tonight when
they stole half of what I was going to say. I didn't know anything about that. Anyway, I'm here to, I've offered suggestions in the past in front of many councils. None of them have ever been received well. So I'm batting 0.
That's not true.
I'm like Espino here, the squire. When
squire.
he was on the council, he would be, right, he would get a couple, but he would usually lose to half of them. Anyway, basically, what I want to say is this city needs to have the streets restriped, because when you drive at night, because we're a tree city, that causes an awful lot of problems. If we ever got hit by Dorian, this city would be in a mess. Big mess. Anyway, you take Springs Avenue is a good example. You go down from westward and you make a turn to go in Springs Avenue. Well, you got one light between Swan Avenue and westward. There's a light there, but the trees cover the light. You can hardly see the light. So either we're not taking care of the trees properly, or we don't have our streets restriped. It's pretty difficult to drive in Miami Springs at night. You don't see the signs of if you don't live in Miami Springs. I've had many people over the years say, "Where's this? Where's that? Where's this?" It's like Carl Gables, you can't get around good. So that's my big request here tonight. Nothing on your city manager Alonso, nothing about him at all. But I think
Is that good news? Is that good news?
Yeah, I don't know whether it's in the budget or what, but the streets need to be restriped.
You got it. Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
Good to see you, Joey.
Yeah, right.
Take your time. What do you? Sure.
In the county responsible for striping our streets?
Some of them.
No.
Some of them, not all of them.
Some of them. Not the ones he's talking about.
Yeah. By the way, all the downtown, the circle will be redone and restriped. He's talking within the city, and we'll take a look and see what we can and can't do. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, we go to, that's open forum. We appreciate, the two people wanting to speak at open forum, we appreciate that.
Yep.
And we appreciate everybody being here tonight. We go to 6A, September 9th, 2019, regular council meeting. Entertain a motion.
Through the chair, motion to move 6A, sir.
I'll second it.
Call the vote.
Vice Mayor Beth?
Aye.
Councilwoman Mitchell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Zapata?
Yes.
Councilman Petrolano?
Yes.
Mayor Bain?
Yes. We go on to 8A, a resolution.
This is a resolution of the Mayor and City Council of the City of Miami Springs, Florida, adopting the final millage rate for the fiscal year commencing October 1st, 2019, and ending September 30th, 2020, announcing the percentage increase in property taxes, providing for incorporation of recitals, and providing for an effective date. As you know, we set, at the first meeting, we set the rate at 7.3300 mils, which exceeds the rollback rate computed pursuant to Section 200.065 Florida statutes of 6.9043 mils by 5.7%.
This is a public hearing on this item, or both?
Forgive me, Mayor and Council. So if there's if there's no discussion on the millage rate or the budget itself, you can take these sequentially, millage and budget. If there's going to be a change in the budget that may affect the millage rate, then you would table the millage rate at this time. You can have a public hearing now or later, doesn't matter.
Okay.
Then you take up the budget, make any changes to the budget, table that, go back to the millage rate, approve it, and then approve them.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and go like this. Set the millage rate right now. Is there anybody have any changes within the budget? Anybody? Okay. Then I'm going to go ahead and call a public hearing on 8A. I open up the public hearing. Anybody here wish to speak on 8A? Okay, I close the public hearing. I'll entertain a motion.
Second.
Call the vote.
Vice Mayor Best,
Aye.
Councilwoman Mitchell,
Yes.
Councilwoman Zapata,
Yes.
Councilman Petrolano.
Yes.
Mayor Bain.
Yes. Now, as far as 8B, a resolution,
This is
this
a
is for the budget.
Right. This is a resolution of the Mayor and City Council of the City of Miami Springs, Florida, adopting a final budget for the fiscal year commencing October 1st, 2019, and ending September 30th, 2020, providing for incorporation of recitals, providing for expenditure of budgeted funds, providing for budgetary controls, providing for grants and gifts, providing for budget amendments, providing for encumbrances, and providing for an effective date.
Okay,
Anything else we need to read from this? Or
No,
that's it?
budget's fine. I mean, the statutory requirements are for the rollback rate and the millage, but.
Okay.
Motion to move 8B.
Okay. I'll second that. Any further discussion? Call the vote.
Vice Mayor Best,
Aye.
Councilwoman Mitchell,
Yes.
Councilwoman Zapata,
Yes.
Councilman Petrolano.
Yes.
Mayor Bain.
Yes, I would like to make say that we worked hard on this. We did our job in trying to lower it as
Mayor,
much as.
I'm sorry. Did you have a public hearing on the budget itself?
Didn't I call?
Yeah.
I
You did?
thought I
Okay,
did.
forgive me.
I thought you
Escaped
did.
me for a
Didn't
moment.
I?
I thought you did, yes.
I didn't?
You did not? Okay,
Did he
call.
ever?
Okay,
I heard the millage rate being open for public hearing. I didn't hear the one for the.
Okay, open up the public hearing for the budget,
Revote if
8B.
that's all right.
Huh?
We can revote if that's all right.
Anybody want to speak on the budget, 8B resolution? At least you're honest about
really.
that. Okay, I closed the public hearing. I'll entertain a motion. My fault.
I would like to withdraw my second on the previous motion and reinsert a motion here for B, 8B.
Second.
Call the vote.
Vice Mayor Best,
Aye.
Councilwoman Mitchell,
Yes.
Councilwoman Zapata,
Yes.
Councilman Petrolano.
Yes.
Mayor Bain.
Yes, now I'd like to make that we worked together on this, had our differences, but came through with the budget. We lowered the millage rate, contrary to what everybody read and heard through the internet that we weren't doing our job. They just couldn't understand the fact that we set it at 7.5 for wiggle room down the road if we needed to do something, because you can never go up. You can always go down, but never go up. So that I wanted that clear if anybody's watching. We go to 9A, consent agenda, and B.
This is a recommendation by the Police Department. The council approve an expenditure to Duval Ford LLC utilizing the Florida State Contract 251-00000-18-1, an amount of $26,374.70 for a 2019 Ford sedan police Inceptor patrol vehicle, as these funds are available in the fiscal year 18-19 budget. 9B is a recommendation by the Police Department that council authorize the issuance and the purchase order to Dana Safety Supply, Inc., piggybacking on the City of Miami contract, IFB number 516-388-21, purchase and an installation of the municipal vehicles equipment citywide in an amount of $26,345 even, for the purchase of 14 custom truck boxes, as funds are approved in the fiscal year budget.
Entertain a motion.
Motion to move to consent agenda, Mayor.
Second.
Call the vote.
Vice Mayor Best,
Aye.
Councilwoman Mitchell,
Yes.
Councilman Zapata,
Yes.
Councilman Petrolano.
Yes.
Mayor Bain.
Yes. We go to 11A.
Yes, Mayor and Council, this is a request for the approval of an extension of the contract with Becker and Poliakoff, PA, for an additional one-year period in the amount of $45,000 for consulting and lobbying services.
What was the name of the company again?
Becker
Poliakoff.
Okay, because he kind of tongue-tied that a little bit.
Just
Oh,
Becker.
Polycuff's out of it?
It's Becker now, right? Just Becker?
Entertain a motion.
Motion to approve 11A is read.
I'll second that.
Call the vote, please.
Vice Mayor Best,
Aye.
Councilwoman Mitchell,
Yes.
Councilwoman Zapata,
Yes.
Councilman Petrolano.
Yes.
Mayor Bain.
Yes, we go to 12A, a request by Councilman Petrolonga to discuss take-home car program, please.
After discussing it in length today, I think we discussed it three times already. I think I'd like to pull this item today. They're about to go into bargaining, the city manager and the police and the police union, so I don't think this is a good time to discuss this. I don't want to hand tie the city manager's hands. It's something I believe in. I believe this for a long time, and that's why I wanted to bring it up. But I think timing is wrong after discussing it with the chief and the city manager. I like to table it for now.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. City Attorney, anything from you?
No, Mayor, Council, nothing. Thank
Good job tonight.
Thank you.
Wait a minute. I have something to tell you.
No, he did a good job tonight. He didn't say anything.
No.
City Manager?
I have a few events, if William has nothing.
Nope.
Okay, so we have the Miami Springs Virginia Gardens Optimist Club Barbecue Throwdown, which is September 28th from 11 to 2, and then dinner from 3 p.m. We also have the Farmers Market that starts on October 19th, which would be opening day, and it opens every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And then we have the Haunted Happenings that is going to happen also in October, but I'll come back to you with that one as well.
Okay. Anything from Councilwoman Mitchell tonight?
I wanted to, and I didn't get a chance to, I don't know why, but I meant to thank our Councilman Gabe Fernandez and Juliana Arias for bringing up the idea for the bike scavenger hunt. I think it's fantastic that the whole purpose of the hunt is to have people visit historical landmarks throughout the city and learn the reason that they're there. And so I'm really excited about that, and I'm hoping that we'll support that and help them with their efforts. And other than that, I just wanted to say that I've heard really good things about all the students back at school. It seems like in all of our public schools and in our charter and parochial schools, things are going really well. And that's nice.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
I don't have anything.
Councilman Petrolaga?
Councilwoman Mitchell took everything I was going to say.
That's normal. That's normal. Anything from you?
Just one thing. You know, the Playhouse is starting their auditions, or had their auditions this past weekend for the Peter Pan, the British musical. And this is a very ambitious piece to try to stage. And the only reason I'm bringing this up is because Juliana was here earlier, and she was the one that was. They broke the audition into an hour and a half of singing and an hour and a half of dancing. Well, Juliana was in charge of the hour and a half of dancing. And I was out there on the floor, and I'll tell you what, this combat yoga stuff that these gals do, is unbelievable. I couldn't walk, so get out of bed Sunday morning. Awful. She's in shape, though. Thank you, Mayor.
Thanks for letting us know
Yeah, I
about
just
that.
thought
That's
I'd
really
mention it.
nice.
No, the reason I want is simply because of it's going to be it could be the best thing he's ever done.
There you go. I wanted to make the comment about the barbecue blast that the participation isn't that great.
Yeah.
I'd ask everybody on council if they could get somebody or would like to participate in the chicken wing and the ribs and the burger to get a team in there. And last year was a blast, but this year a couple of teams couldn't make it because of their schedule with their families. But they could use some help if you have anybody. I challenge maybe our police department to put a team in. I challenge somebody must know how to cook because they're married to women, so they must learn how to cook.
Oh, what
somehow.
a gender biased statement.
Number
On
two,
Earth.
the fire department here. Maybe we can get them involved. I mean, this is a city function for everybody. Maybe somebody could get in there and do it and
Why don't we
help
do
out.
Mayor, why don't we have put a team together?
Well, I'm going to be there.
I mean,
No, I
that's
don't think
fine.
I can get
Hey,
along with all you people. I see you enough up here. I don't know if who's going to cook what. I'm judging the chicken wings, and I'm going to work the bar. So.
Oh yeah.
I always do.
Oh yeah.
But I say, I mean, we always ask for everybody to help all of the clubs and everything.
Yeah, why not?
And
No, that's
you
good
know, I
overture.
think that we should just try to. I've been calling people up to try to get them involved to do it, and I think we should try to get involved to do it.
Who's got that this year?
You call Tony Silva.
Tony, that's right. Yeah.
Tony Silva, and you can. I forget what the cost is, and they. By the way, they supply all the meat that you need. The wings, you don't have to buy anything. It's all being supplied. They had anonymous donors supplied the $3,000 so they can do it because they didn't have the money to do it. So somebody was nice enough to give the $3,000 for the event so that they can do it. So I just ask all your Facebook people and everything to see if they want to put a few teams in there. And go
Mayor,
on for
before
it.
you hit the gavel, just keep Chris Hyde in your prayers. He's in the hospital. He's been in the hospital since this weekend, and we're hopefully he'll have a quick recovery.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks.
And we'll put a prayer for him. This meeting is adjourned. Yeah.
Did you get a packet, Tom, from him?
I only got one, and I need it for that.
Okay.
thing that,
But if